Hey everybody and welcome to Bandite's Let's Sculpt January 2020 part day. My mic is super low, let's do it again. Hey everybody and welcome to Bandite's Let's Sculpt January day 24. My name is Cedric and today's topic is Unimaginable. So we're just gonna grab the sculpt from yesterday. Yes, very good. And I kinda want to touch upon some things today. Kinda wanna make a stylized character again. So I'm just gonna save this file as a new file. It's gonna be great. Writing unimaginable for a couple of times breaks my brain. And I don't want to sing this entire stream, but I feel like it. Sorry that I'm a little bit earlier today. Boys and girls and other genders. Yes, so we had this yesterday. Looks very nice. So there's a new file. I'm just gonna delete everything here. Going to sculpting. Yes, everything is gone. We make UV sphere and press Alt G so in center and press period so we focus on sphere. How to scare away my viewers in under 10 seconds. Yeah, I'm in a good mood today. A bit more energy today, so had a little bit of rest. And yeah, let's jump right into it. I kind of want to do something. Ooh, although I maybe want to do something Gravity Falls related. Perhaps, perchance, maybes. But I don't want to make Cypher because I feel like that's a little bit too. I don't want to say easy, but too much of a simple form that making something visually pleasing will be more like texturing, shading and all that stuff. There's great art of Dipper and Mabel having grown up. And the blonde girl having grown up. Oh boy, the internet is weird. I'm so happy you can't see my other screen. Nice for boots though. Hey Breaker, how you doing? So I'm gonna pick a Gravity Falls character and I'm gonna focus on that character, make it in some kind of art style. So I'm just scrolling. I should have done this before. I could do waddles, you know. Yeah, I don't know why. Okay, let me try and fix this. I don't know why I moved my webcam for some reason again, and not, like just about when I was used to looking at the camera there, I put it there again. I had the effort, like. Okay, so we're good again. I'm just gonna go. Let's see. Elmer Dupont. Character. We could make Old Man McGucket. Zeus. Zeus is pretty nice. Hey dudes. I can't do voices. I'm terrible. You know what? Could be fun to do Wendy, because then we also get to practice a little bit of hair. Doesn't seem too. Okay, and I see some interesting fan art for Wendy. So I'm just gonna pick one. Hi, do you have tips to begin with sculpture? A start point. Every time I try to sculpt, the result is garbage. It's because it's not your result. If what you're looking, oh my god, if what you're looking at is garbage, keep working on it. I think, and two main pointers: look at reference, make something where you have a lot of reference for. I would even suggest make a character that exists in 3D, and recreate that. Like what I used to do is go to Sketchfab and look at stylized characters, and then try to resculpt them or remodel them first. Because in Sketchfab you can look at them from all sides and kind of see where the shape goes, and how the shapes go. Man, me English today. Oh, good reference. Okay, so we're just gonna start. Yeah, so we're in Blender 2.83 because we have some scripting tools for these. I might update that as well. I'm just gonna really quick remesh to 1.025. I'm gonna start blocking out everything with that. I'm also gonna go to my normal. I never know what snake hook. I want the old snake hook back. I like the new one, but I want another brush to be the old snake hook. If it still exists, like, tell me, because it might be this one actually. I'll do it. This is a little bit more. Yeah. You have the elastic deform that kind of drags the entire mesh with you, and then there's a grab brush. It also doesn't quite do the same, does it? But the new, I get what it does. It's really good. Like if you put this, not the radius, the strength full and the fall off like smooth, that's fine. And you can really like make some funky shapes really quickly that you might need. But I kind of want to have. Oops. Yeah, I don't want that. I mean, I want that. I still want the new one, but I also want the old one because it was really nice for blocking things out. I think the new one's kind of a little bit too heavy on that part. So I'm really quickly gonna start with the neck because it really that for me is kind of a reference point. Gonna start scraping the side of the head, okay, kind of more of a head shape. I'm probably gonna do different objects because every time I try to do things on one object, it fails miserably. But other than that, yeah, look up more sculpting tutorials. I thought, like in the beginning, that, and not saying that you have the same mindset, but I thought that sculpting, like it would come like any, like I think a lot of people that start an art form would be like, oh, if I just put enough time in this, like I've seen other people do it, it seems pretty easy, and then it's like I think what a lot of people, and myself included, tend to think a lot when we see other people do art is like, oh, it's about the feeling, it's about the, oh, they have a special skill. But no, there's a lot of theory behind it. There's a lot of stuff you kind of need to know before you can really start to. I made the shoulders like a little bit short. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of drag this out here. Whoops. Goes part of the neck. Kind of want to give her shoulders to be, how is that? Kind of laid back, you know. A little bit forward. Already want to think about that. That really defines your base. I'm gonna remesh it real quick because smoothing this out kind of breaks the entire shape. And then I'm just gonna start like meshing away at this so that I got like a nice fluent shape here. Cool. I'm just blocking out the objects I'm gonna need. I might look at another artwork because I like the one I'm looking at. Because I don't want to create the original because it's very flat and like these big spherical eyes, and I don't really like that for a 3D piece. I've seen a lot of 3D visualizations of the original characters. Definitely, they were very nice. But I'm now looking more at like shaded stuff where I can base off more of the I'm just gonna go Wendy art. I don't know. Finding a lot of weird stuff, definitely. But it's like in a lot of different styles, and I do have to kind of keep consistent what I'm doing with it, right? So I'm gonna kind of impose my own style on it, but still like look at reference to what makes the character the character. I think that's the hair and the hat, obviously. So I'm just gonna add a cube for the hat. Yeah, and it's gonna be a little bit weird. I guess it's gonna be a little bit like a bit bigger, a bit more fitted around the head. A lot smaller. Okay, I'm just gonna go in sculpt mode and see what we can do with this. 0.5. Smooth normals. The first thing I kind of want to smooth out, especially these edges, going to be a little bit rounder. It still needs to have that rectangular shape somewhat, but yeah, it's still a soft body, so something like this, right? Just roughing this out. I should maybe also add the hair before I go too crazy with this. And then what we have kind of is this weird thing here. Not sure what it's called. There we go. Then we can already see what kind of. Okay, kind of have the smaller. Maybe I should also should have maybe also made it a separate object, but although on the other hand, you kind of want to see what we're doing here. I kind of flatten that. Flatten this side a little bit. Flatten the curve a little bit here. I'm already gonna remesh really quickly. Inflate, so we can simplify this, right? And then just smooth it out. And this looks terrible at the moment, but we'll fix that. And then she also has these ear flaps. There we go. I'm gonna remesh already because damn. So there we go. Yeah, we don't want that to. Oh, that's happening. Okay, cool. Very cool. Okay, I'm just gonna. Oof. Remesh it real quickly because we have some artifacts here. Okay. That might be good a little bit more here. I want everything to be kind of straight at the beginning, the block out to be kind of clean. So we can grab our flatten brush, kind of make everything here not blobby, you know, not messy. So we just kind of like base ourselves on the shapes, or like focus on the shapes rather. Then focus on stupid little details, you know. All right. I guess there's some shape to it. Like we'll work on the details and the silhouette later. Cool, very cool. And then I want to create two more objects actually. One I'm going to start off as a sphere. That's kind of starting off like at the skull, something like that, sure. And what we can do is go to sculpt mode, do the same thing, 0.5, smooth the normals, remesh. And we're not gonna see it, of course, but we're gonna kind of see where the hairline comes here, and the hairline kind of goes into the hat. Sure. Okay, inflate it here. Cool. What I'm gonna do real quickly is bump in the rest of this so that our snake hook is not gonna get rerolled. Don't want to make this fat enough though, but you know, just precaution a little bit. And actually, what I really kind of want to do is have the shoulders separately. So I'm gonna go into edit mode. Now that we still can do that, right? So I'm gonna try and take the shoulders. Sure, that's good enough. Separate the selection. Select one. Solid mode, edit mode. Go into whoops. Fill this up. Do the same here. Oh yeah, the reason I'm a bit earlier today is because deadline is at 2:50 today. So after that I'll have to, what am I doing? Have to go. What I kind of want to do with the shoulders is kind of have them a little bit rotated. There we go. More of a chill stance. And I see that like the head is still all wrong kinds of shapes, but that's why we're doing what we're doing at the moment. Because the reason I do this is because the hair kind of needs to be adjusted for that. So one thing, her hair falls to her right. So that's our left here. And I kind of want to give her a little bit of a slanted head. So I'm just going to Control Z that and parent it to the head here. And then kind of, I don't know what I'm trying to mirror this here. So I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to do the same pose. Whoops, that's the wrong way. I want to have it laid back. And that's too extreme. It's kind of like she's looking and then she kind of tilts her head a little bit. Something like this, yeah. Again, go into sculpt mode and try and connect it a little bit better. We definitely want here a little bit more shoulder, and then what we really want to emphasize is the curvature of the neck here, so that the pose becomes a little bit more obvious, like this. We can maybe put in some clothes. Okay, make that a little bit bigger, a bit more up. Okay, and I'm gonna do the head a little bit more because I feel like not having the correct shape in here kind of. As long as the shape is correct, then we can do whatever we want with it, right? I'm just gonna give a hint of a nose here, so we kind of see what we should do here. Bring the cheeks a little bit more forwards. Definitely want the head to be a little bit less. There we go. We'll see. And the hair, this one will be a little bit more symmetrical. So I'm just gonna make this fall down. Well, sort of fall out. Sphere, a little better. What happened to the fall? Let's see here. Let's keep it on smooth. Let's just try it out. Do we have our shape that we want? Something like this. This is very rough. Like, I'm just gonna remesh it real quick. I'm gonna smooth it out, thicken it up a little bit, just so we have a reference of where that hair should go, right? Because the more base you put in at the beginning, so I'm now going to do the same. I'm going to make a smaller sphere, and I'm going to put it up here in the center. I'm going to apply the scale. Remesh it to 0.25. Smooth normals. And what I want to turn off symmetry with this one. And this is going to be our main, whoops, hair that's eventually gonna fall back. I'm just gonna remesh. I already fix the shape a little bit. There we go. It's not easy here. I'm just gonna track it out on here. Cool. Very cool. And kind of inflate it again. Remesh it again. Already corrected. This goes back here because I want the shape to be correct this time, like in this face, so that I'm like not 100% sure, but like at least like sure enough that I know. I'll just have to put in the detail and do a little bit of correction, but that I don't need to redo the entire shape like some other sculpts we don't mention here. So I'm just gonna like drag this out, remesh it. Something like this. Kind of remesh. Whoops. Okay, wait. Let's go back a little bit. Remesh. Smooth it out. Remesh. Okay, there we go. Could have fixed that, but I'd rather have it. Just do the thing I wanted to do. There we go. Just get like a good shape in here, right? Remesh it again. Okay, I kind of want to focus a little bit more on the shape here, so these curves go in the right direction. There's a little bit thicker hair up top here. I definitely want that shape there, but this shape should be straight. It should not be wavy hair. I can already got the crease brush and really like force the shape in here a little bit, so we can see where we go with this, right? You can kind of see we need to flatten this edge a little bit. There we go. Flatten this out. Flatten this out. Oh, flatten brush is your friend. Really. Follow the flow with the flatten brush. I don't really. Now we can see here, like, okay, kind of need a little bit more volume in here. I want to differentiate the hair that's kind of going down here and the hair that's going up here, so we kind of have this nice thing going on. I don't want to make it. I'm just gonna take a grab brush here and kind of move it up. Grab the rake brush maybe. It's like I don't want to make it too flat here, so let's move this forward again. Use the rake brush and kind of flatten this out again. Rough shapes. Yeah, kind of nudged it up a little bit. Kind of like this better a little bit. I do want it to kind of fall a little bit more over the face. She has messy hair. She constantly tries to keep out of her face. So, okay, now for instance, I see that the head is a little bit too small. She really should like have this cover her head a little bit more. Then we can start like seeing what we should do with the hair more. Just a little bit following procedure. Now we can kind of push this in a little bit. Push this out here at the edge. So it's kind of like getting shaped by this rectangular. But then I also see like kind of want to have it to start more here. And then maybe even flatten this part out. And then flatten this part out, right? And we have this edge here, which is nice. There we go. Just keep the smooth curve in here. There we go. Just trial and error. Okay. What we can do now is go to the other hair, sculpt, and kind of use the snake hook to get more hairs in here. And it's gonna be kind of. Oh wait, I do want to have my X mirror on for this. And at a certain point, we're also gonna remove the symmetry on that, right? But at this point. Okay, she, like, most of the hair goes back here, right? So, what am I doing? I'm just gonna use a rake brush to kind of flatten this shape out. Flatten. This is definitely like a little bit more. Yeah, I kind of have to bring in her ear as well to make that work. But let's go back to the face. I started something again. Okay, so we're gonna have our nose here. So I'm just gonna, we're gonna kind of respect the shape of the nose, but I definitely just want to signal where the nose is. Gonna bring the eye holes in here. I'm gonna do this very extreme at this point. So I just see where everything goes. Pull out the eyebrows here. Definitely a design with a bit bigger. Gonna bring this neck a little bit smoother in, you know. Bringing that sharp chin. Like this. That works. I'm gonna remesh real quick so the bottom side is kind of evenly distributed a little bit more. I'm already gonna bring in some eyes. So as far as I can see, they're still spheres. Because I know with some designs, like you kind of would like to have more oval shapes, I guess. Is this still? This is, oh no. So we're just gonna use this object as the mirror object. Kind of estimate where the eyes have to go here. Kind of put them straight a little bit. Okay, something like maybe a bit smaller. I'm always gonna assume that I'm making them too big. They always seem a little bit too big if I put them in. Okay, so now we can focus a little bit on getting the right shapes in here. Whoops, I'm on the wrong object, I suppose. There we go. So get this in here. This has to be kind of higher. Smooth this out, of course. Still a girl, so a lot of smooth shapes. And I kind of see here that where the eyelid starts, it's a little bit higher than where the eye actually sits. That's okay. We can kind of push this out. We can kind of inflate this. It's a little bit more fat. There we go. Alright, gonna put a little bit more detail in it. At 0.01. I kind of want to make a rough sketch here of the eyebrows, so we can see where all the rest goes, right? And then we can kind of see if the shape of the face is correct and all that good stuff. I'm gonna real quickly put in ears in the place they have to be. So we're just gonna do this. She has like also these angular ears that I like in characters. I'm not looking for a woman with cornery ears, because that doesn't exist. Get the shape in here a little bit more. I'm gonna inflate this a little bit more, so we have good ears. Gonna just do like the basic shape here, something like this. Cool, that's good for now. I got really good at ears. I must say, like for every ear I made, like, there you go, experience. Go check my first sculpt and check how long I did it over the year. It's yeah, it wasn't good. She kind of has a sassy expression on her face. Already gonna put in like the basic move. I don't know how to do the lips because the concept art not really showing lips, but I'm just gonna assume. You kind of, if you want to add upper lip fat, just like draw a funny mustache, you know, and then blur it out, and then you kind of add the fat that you need. And I can kind of go like this, and then that's the upper lip. Maybe you can even go a little bit more detailed. Kind of want to have a stylized look, but I don't want to go too. I'm using like a concept art for reference, but I'm gonna go a little bit more realistic in my stylization. And we can use the mask tool actually to draw this out. And then you actually want to add like a bump here and a bump at the chin. This is extreme, like just blur it out until it kind of fits. Like we don't want to cheapen out on the chin as well. We do want the chin in there. And then we can kind of bring in a thin lower lip, because that's the impression I get from a character. I mean, we could look up like realistic stuff, like, and then like, yeah, of course, there's a lot of things we need to fix here. The mouth goes a lot higher here, like, yeah, really. And also the curve needs to be a little bit better, like this. And then it's just like correcting, like putting the shapes in there and then seeing, like, because like the comment earlier I got from La Caverna, that's a nice name. Like also, I think like if you make a face, right, like this, and you're like, oh man, it sucks, it's garbage, you just correct it, you know, just bring in the shapes in there, the correct places, just look at your reference, and then, you know, go from there. Because, you know, like, there's only a handful of artists out there who do something right from the first time, right? And it's like, don't try to do that. Now I got a important message here. Damn it. And then here the nose bridge a little bit more round, maybe like a little bit lower here, and kind of bring an angle in here. The nose a little bit more like this. Like try to find the angles and try to be like, oh, at which angle does that go with the character, right? And then you can kind of like look at your art and then be like, oh, I think this kind of goes in that angle or this angle, and then it'll be a lot easier to approach that, you know. Because I don't really like bring the tip in a little bit more, not too much. Make this rounder. I'm still no good at noses. We're probably gonna make a dedicated stream just for noses. I figure out noses together, shall we? And I know, like because the bridge really has to go like this, and it kind of looks good. But I know I'm gonna, like, if I look from here, I'm kind of not happy with it. Kind of inflate that, but then that doesn't look good. I'm gonna remesh real quick. There we go. And that's kind of has to go more to the front. Smooth it out a little bit, so we don't distract. I need more detail. I'm gonna go to 0.006. That's too much. So remesh. And now I see the nose like kind of sticks out too much as well, right? Gonna push that in. Push that in. And the most important part why I'm looking at the concept art is because it looks like Wendy. So I'm trying to get the elements that make Wendy Wendy, because like in this show it's a really simplistic form, and like if you work on a show like that, like mostly what makes the characters is the clothes, and like the hair, and you never see really characters with the same hair or something. Like Mabel and Dipper are twins, but suppose they were two guys, right, or two girls. Then yeah, and you gave him almost the same clothes. I don't think the show would be as interesting. Because she has a pointier nose, so I'm just gonna push this in without pushing this in. You've used flatten brush. Not too much. I'm just gonna kind of push this in. So can I get this angle in here? Well, it does kind of make her a little bit more badass. And definitely have the jaw a little bit wider. However, I think this needs to be pushed in more. We see the top of the eyebrow should be farthest, right? So use a flatten brush here to get that shape correct. Yeah, although it's like weird looking at the concept art because I see that it's like kind of not correct in 3D. So it's like, yeah, I kind of pull this more up and this more down. And then, yeah, okay, so we're just gonna use the flatten brush, kind of rekindle the shapes a little bit in here. Maybe this out. Just trial and error at the moment. Just gonna, you know what? Let's really get these shapes in here. No shapes, so that we can. Let me use the pinch brush. So we can focus a little bit more, maybe. So yeah, okay. So this has to go lower, right? So this kind of has to have this shape. I'm always like, oh, the nose looks good, and then I'm bringing in nose holes, and then everything goes to show. I don't need to swear because my last stream got demonetized. Okay, gotta close my eyes, stretch them out. Look at it. Be disgusted by what I made. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Oof, wow. There goes my blood level. Did I finish my sandwich? I made a sandwich earlier. Yeah, I finished it. Man, I have still more hunger. I'm gonna look for stylized noses. Stylized nose. Reference. I'm just gonna look for nose reference. It's gonna come up with enough. Yes. Yes, okay. And I need something a little bit 3D so I can kind of check what kind of nose I want to put in here and kind of copy what I see. Just copying what you're seeing, right? That's all there is to art. No, don't copy just what you see, right? Just copy, interpret, transform, and then recreate in your own way. And then you'll get to be a great artist. Yeah, so I think this is a pretty good reference. I'm just gonna, well, look, 5 seconds into reference. It's already 10 times better. Just gonna. So yeah, I always forget about this shape going up and this shape going down more. And okay, I made the nostrils a little bit too heavy there. Actually, that's good because then I can kind of push it in and kind of like make the nose so that the nostrils are not that big. Bring a little bit more of that punch. I think like this needs to be a little bit up there still. Just gonna use the flatten brush, flatten the bridge a bit. A little bit of sturdier nose bridge. And also this area, we don't want to forget about this area. There's a little bit more going on there. There we go. Because that kind of creates a shadow like around the eye. Like we're far from there, but we're getting there step by step. Right. Just gonna create this a little bit more. It's like creasing in what I know, what goes where, and the mouth needs to go a little bit more into. Follow this line here. I kind of looking from far. There's definitely. I think this is because I haven't really put in the eye shapes in here. Okay, so the thing is that she kind of has a low nose, right? I'm gonna put on. Yeah, okay, so that helps. And she has thin lips. I'm just gonna go like, oof. Let's not forget to make them a little bit wider. So okay, that's a little bit more Wendy-esque. I'm gonna put in. I'm first gonna force them in, so this is gonna hurt a little bit, but I really want these shapes in here. It's gonna look a little bit crazy because, like, I really want to open this up first a little bit and kind of close it down again. Bring a little bit more meat in here, so this is a straighter edge. There we go. Bring this even further down without destroying that. Cool. Something like this, and then kind of fill this up using the normal fill brush. Okay, cool, very cool. It kind of works, I think. All right. Sorry, I had to check some messages real quick. So I'm gonna bring this more to here. Bring this back a little bit. Bring the eyebrow. Definitely want this corner in here, so just gonna go force that a little bit. It's just like forcing shapes and just scraping it away because it protrudes a little bit too much, you know. And I'm gonna grab this again. I'm gonna bring it back. And then slowly you get the right shapes, right? So I want this to protrude the most, but not by that much of a difference. Yeah, kind of like also in the back. This has to go way more to the back. So something like that. Kind of first force it in there. Grab the flatten brush and then just smooth it out. You know, smooth it out. Make it smooth. Nice smooth. we go. Just gonna use a smooth brush here. Kind of want to use it a little bit here because it needs to be a little bit softer. Smooth that. Cool. So what I'm already gonna do is put the eyes in the right position. So what I'm gonna do is apply the mirror, separate loose parts, and yeah, because this one is correct now. Sure. Use this one, set origin to surface, and then we can both rotate them. This one a little bit less than the other one. It looks like a better expression, right? Cool. Because now she doesn't look as crazy because you raise your eyebrows, you raise your eyelids if you look up, right? And that'll be a good reference for sculpting the rest of the face. Because we kind of want to raise this a little bit more up. We create a seam in here. There we go. And smoothen this out again so we can kind of make this consistent a little bit. Kind of push this in so the eyelid gets thicker as we're nearing the end. It'll be easier to make like some pretty eyelids. Pretty eyelids. Though she's not the kind of girl that bothers too much with makeup, I guess. There we go. Kind of gonna correct some stuff here. Put on this bump. You know, you can start really. And then all the other mistakes will be more clear. Kind of flatten this out. Which is a little, kind of bring out the jaw a little bit more. Yeah, definitely. She's a strong jaw. She's a lumberjack. So definitely don't want to give her that pointy look. More round character means more, you know. Yeah, she definitely has like a little bit too much cheekbones going on here, so I'm gonna go fatten it a little bit up. There we go. Pull this up a little bit. Yeah, I just want to pull the cheekbones down, like just a little bit. I'm gonna be careful here because I'm pushing a little bit too much around. I'm just being rough. I think like the under eyelids can go like a little bit more round. I don't want to bring them in already. So we define that a little bit more. Right. Make them a little bit thinner. Flatten this part out. Flatten this part out, why not? And that'll look really weird at the beginning, but then kind of smooth that in a little bit. There we go. But we want the physical eyelids to be there, right? Okay, yeah. See what's going on here. I think we have to kind of decrease a little bit here. Might use a rake brush a little bit more. Definitely want to have all of this stuff a little bit less accentuated. This also kind of helps to see the flow a little bit more by using the rake brush. Definitely looks weird from here. For some reason. I did a whoopsie. Let's see here. Profile reference. I'm looking at real people now because I feel like she looks fine from the front, but I don't know if it's just a weird eye that makes. Oh wait, no, I know. This needs to be pushed in more. This needs to be pushed out a little bit more. Yeah, definitely. So we have that eye shape a little bit better in there. I think I just want the jaw in general to be a little less. Bring the chin up a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, come on. I'm just gonna really quickly delete her mouth because it's kind of distracting me from the jaw shape. I'm gonna redo it anyway. What is the name of this character? Wendy. Did you think ever? I've thought at certain points. Why's my webcam so high up? Oh god. Oh god. There we go. That's too low. Perfect. I think you didn't finish a sentence there, Juedo. Okay, I need to look at the reference a bit better because okay, first of all, I'm gonna bring this up a little bit. I'm gonna make the chin a lot softer here. I'm just going back to basics a little bit. I think, yeah, the main structure of the face didn't make much sense. Because the ear is here, then the kind of the jaw comes to here, and then up here. Maybe for a moment go here, so we can actually see the ear. All that rhyming. Sorry. Like literally look at the face like it is. Use the rake brush to really bring in the shape of the jaw here. I'll brush away some excess clay here. I'll make the face too broad. I'm not looking orthographic, am I? No. Never sculpt an orthographic. If I see one of yes sculpt an orthographic, I'll come for you. Not in a good way. So the Philip DeFranco show is back, which makes me happy. It's only a news source I trust. All hail Philip DeFranco. I gotta fill some of the void that was left by PewDiePie. PewDiePie, won't you come back to give me entertainment? Again, yeah, I'll have to fill the void that was left. Become the next big thing. It's a big responsibility, but I'll take it. This starts to look a little bit better. Because what I want to do with the mouth is actually go like this. I'll just keep that in here, activate my symmetry again, so, you know, don't have to pay attention to that. And then we'll sculpt the mouth later. Did you ever... What is the subject of the short movie? What? This isn't the short movie. It's a sculpt. Read the title, man. Come on, what are you doing? Ah! This is, it's unimaginable, and I thought of the most unimaginable place, which is Gravity Falls, you know, as we all know. I'm just gonna, kind of... Yeah, bring the neck out a little bit more. And this now starts to look like something, right? I think the neck might be a little bit longer. And a little bit thicker, because I'm not sure that neck can support her head. Sometimes you want to try to make, like, sometimes, like, if I get lost into detail, I can make everything a little bit too small. The subject, yeah, I just said, like, let me not repeat myself too much. No, so Gravity Falls. We're gonna make a short in the next month. It's a promise. I don't know if I can keep. No, we'll see. It really depends on what projects go and don't go. Like, I have some projects that are on a very like 50-50 maybe list, some like a little bit less, and yeah, it really depends how those projects go, where they go. If I'll have time for multiple projects on this channel. But if you want a certainty that I can provide more content, you can check out my Patreon down below, or go to patreon.com/bandite and check the tiers out. I am gonna set up the Discord so we can have a talk with everybody. That possibly can't go wrong. Right? You guys are amazing. I love you. I love you. Never leave me. I need the attention. No, just kidding. Okay. So, like, for the lower part, I'm gonna turn off symmetry now, because I'm kind of happy with how things are going here. And we're just gonna go and start bringing in a little bit of lip. Definitely lower lip. Pinch it out at the end here. So like have a smiling corner here, right? Let me measure in more detail. 0.004. There we go. Let's do this. Oh, I expected it to explode. How are you guys doing? How many viewers do we have today? 7? That's about the average amount of viewers on the stream. It's like a small classroom, some fun with that. But you know, more could never hurt. Tell your friends about me. Nah, that needs. I kind of like. I think like the maximum amount of viewers I would like on a like the perfect amount of people it would be like 20. Because at that point I can still follow the chat, kind of talk to you guys, and at the same time like focus on my work. Because man, I don't even watch streams because of like too many people in the chat and all that. Because it's just like, how do you even interact with your community at that point? There's like through other ways. Okay, I'm gonna put this line a little bit lower. There's a flatten brush to kind of bring that shape in a little bit better. And of course, because of the smile, the chin is also gonna move a little bit. I think like, I might even redo this. Who knows? We kind of see here that like it's not sticking out enough, right? So I do want to make this edge a little less hard. There we go. Now I go like this and kind of use the crease brush, the pinch brush to get this together a little bit more. I think like want to smooth out the core. It's just like smoothing out. And I want it to be a hard edge, like that you see that's an edge, but I want the corner to be flatter, right? So it's really like so that doesn't look like it sticks out too much. But I'm gonna add a little bit of like more realistic detail here because like just looking at the reference. Still like a little bit. Still feels like I should give her a little bit more broader, a sharper chin here. But it looks better from the side now, so that kind of makes me happy. So it looks like it needs a little bit of work. So like it needs those shapes a little bit better. Oh, don't want to do it with symmetry. Gotta bring this back a little bit. I don't want to be too close, right? Kind of inflate the cheek a little bit here because of the smile. Make it a little bit cheekier. She's definitely like her. I kind of notice now that her eyes are a little bit. Whoops. Let's redo that. The eyes need a little bit more. A little bit more open. I think what's wrong on the side view is that kind of like it doesn't envelop the eye hole, like doesn't envelop the eye completely. So what I might do here, which might be a bad idea, but is to oh god, how do I move this? It's a little bit more inward. Yeah, I think that's the issue. Just a little bit, not too much. Yeah, now we can kind of make the eye holes bigger and stuff. But I think that was the issue, that they were sticking out a little bit too much for comfort. Like this kind of needs to be here more. This already starts to look a little bit more comfortable. There we go. I'm gonna use a flatten brush again to get these smooth shapes in here again. Like without losing too much of the details, so I'm gonna make this a little bit of a smaller brush. Till I get the character right? Okay, I want to turn off symmetry here. Okay, I want to make this side a little bit flatter, because it's a little bit more towards this side. So, like this. What was that? Nothing important, okay. Like, I rarely get email notifications, it's just for my priority emails. But then, like, some advertising things still go through, like, through my priority email. And then, like, you know, if I see, like, a very big company going in my priority email, I'm like, a big client? It's just advertisement. One time I really thought it was the case, like, because the title said, like, hey Cedric, we need your help. I was like, okay, like, just looking at the title, I was already kind of a little bit like, it's kind of a weird way to put it. Okay, but I'll see, I'll check the email, and it's like, we need your help. We have too many products, so we need to sell them with sales minus 50%. This mouse better than the other. Which mouse? Man, are you smoking? No, I'm just kidding. I'm still using the tablet. Drinky drink. Keep my body hydrated. Just like piece by piece, figuring out which elements like are not really fitting to the character, and then like, kind of adjust them until everything kind of makes sense. I think, yeah, she kind of fits more with this kind of nose because she doesn't really have a pointy nose. She's really like a round character, like not only character-wise, but also like her shapes are spherical. Whoops. Let's use the. It's a little bit out of balance here, but it's okay. Use a flatten brush like this. Let's see what time it is. 1:26. Okay. So I don't want to spend too much time on like the rough detail of the face anymore. Okay, so let's just. I kind of want that edge in here a little bit, so I'm just gonna force it for a second. But it doesn't make sense to have like the edge here but not in the curve, right? So all we're gonna do is scrape on one side here and then scrape on the other, smooth it out a little bit, and then if we kind of want to smooth it out a little bit. Pushing out too much. It's definitely pushing out too much. So, like the eyebrow can push out, but like it shouldn't be like a thin line. This is bone structure. This should really be. This is already much better, right? I think it has to go a little bit lower though. All of it. We just have a little bit more forehead in here. There we go. I'm only gonna save this. How do you color the sculpt? I don't. And you've been on streams before. Like, have you not been paying attention? No, I'm not gonna color it. It's gonna be just a stone sculpt. Gonna turn off things here. I'm just gonna smoothen out. Go to extreme here. And like, I kind of wanna. I kind of thinned the line here between, okay, I should do this with the symmetry on though. Between what is eyebrow and what isn't. So definitely this kind of a weird detail here. So I'm just gonna like inflate this again. Bring it down to where cheekbone is. There we go. I kind of keep losing this shape here, so I'm bringing it in again, I guess. I should do it more with the grab brush. Use a flatten brush to kind of get one shape in here. This can be like the excuse to bring in this shape, right? Like this, and on this side, like this. Now we kind of have a nice. But we don't want it to be too visible here, right? Artistic choices. Okay, we do want to inflate it a little bit. Oh, now we get some artifacts, but it fixed itself. Okay, and let's roll from the bottom. Start from the bottom. Now we're here. I kind of smooth this out. Now we kind of have a new definition of the eyebrows. I kind of want to flatten out because it kind of looks a little bit blobby. And make this sink in with the rest of the mesh a little bit more. There we go. And here we kind of have the end of the eyelid, not eyebrow, eyelid. Weirdest questions I ever got. Somebody checking a mesh and checking the bones and was like, "What the frick is a lower eyebrow?" And I was like, "Is this? Nah, it's an eyelid." I was like, "Oh yes, English." Just gonna scrape away a little bit here, just to make it a little bit open. That looks good. Just so we have something a little bit more grounded in realism. Don't want to make this too cartoony as well. Like, I want to follow my style. There we go. Oops. Bring in this edge again. Okay, cool. I'm gonna leave this as is for the moment, and I'm not gonna go to edit mode. Go to scope mode. Just like this edge a little bit better. Just want everything to be kind of smooth, right? To be consistent, at least. There we go. Right. Yeah, sure. Kind of bring this back here as well. Don't probably shapes. There we go. So we kind of want to go back to the hair now. I'm first going to do the symmetrical hair. We kind of already want to correct some things here. So this is nice and smooth, but it's the wrong shape. So kind of want to also bring back the ear a little bit more consistent. Bring this like in a little bit more. And she kind of like a curve of hair here, right? That goes like this. Remesh it. And just bring this up, right? And then smooth it out. Remesh it. Kind of go like this. Give her some bangs, you know. Go up a little bit. Yeah, I will get rid of the bangs on the other side, right? Okay, this needs to have like a shape that comes out of the, like doesn't clip with the head too much, right? And then we can kind of see already like some interesting shape we can put in here. Maybe even go around here to make our hair a little bit more messier, I guess. Kind of bring that in. Use the, whoops, no. Use a rake brush. Really want to kind of have some nice shapes in there. This goes down here. Just a flatten brush for this shape. Push this in a little bit more. And this needs to happen a little bit more. Like if you want to twirl it around, and just it cannot like only happen once, right? So instead of moving this around like a lunatic, let's just scrape this side and bring it over to this side. This side. Well, maybe you want to inflate it first a little bit. And like go from here down here, and then this side go smoother down here, right? Then it looks a bit better. So push it a little bit farther here, and like also we want this to be kind of one shape, right? So this comes from the front here. This shape, I'm just gonna smooth out for a second. Does that work? Does it work? I'm just gonna remesh it because I think like some polys are acting up a little bit weird. I'll use a flat brush and just go around here. And this can be smoother. And maybe even like deflate a little bit here. That's too much. Just a little bit here. Remesh real quickly. There we go. Get rid of that ugly artifacts. Don't want to use a smooth brush. I think that's one of the steps into becoming a better sculptor. Let go of the smooth brush. Don't use it when you think like, oh, it looks bad, so just smooth over it. That's bad practice. Okay, just gonna remove the head for a second with slash, just to get like a better look here. Okay, all right. Push this out a little bit more. We do want to make this flatter, so we want to have like a nice curve in here, but we do not want it to have, yeah, maybe, yeesh, no, something like this, yeah. So again, checking out the silhouette, checking out how it looks. So this hair can go into here. I see a nice line popping up here that we can trace to go to the back here. Might not have enough detail to really do this efficiently. So what I'm gonna do is go to remesh, go to 0.07. Should be enough for the hair. Wait a second. And there we go. Now let's see what's happening here. Flatten this out. Also will look a little bit nicer without all the normal issues popping up. Now we can use this the smooth brush more effectively, like just to smooth out those little details. Okay, so what I want to do, bring the fall off. Yeah, sharp is good. And we can really stick this hair out like this. is very good. Grab brush, fall off, put it on sharper, and we can just like maybe the deflate brush a bit, smooth it out, inflate it a little bit. Doesn't have to be too crazy sharp. It's still hair. Do the same on this side. Can bring it out here. Okay, like create an extra crease here. A little bit of that hair going. Something like this. So going back to fall off smooth. This should be in the third dimension also be a little bit more curvy. In the third dimension. I mean like here. Whoops. We can even use a snake hook to kind of grab this and resculpt it a little bit. Bring it up a little bit more. Alright, so we'll probably delete this side after we're done with the symmetry here. But I see no point in like not doing it symmetrical at this point. Worst case scenario, it saves us some work. So I'm gonna bring in the hair here a bit better. Gonna maybe even create an extra streak here to kind of. That looks good. Maybe like it not to stick out that much, but it's fine. Like maybe if this curve go down here a little bit more. Just to flatten this shape out. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense that it sticks out that much, right? So I'm going to use the rake brush to just rake away and then make this a lot more subtle. Cool. There's some weird music being played by my neighbor. Hope that's not audible by YouTube's evil content recognition software. Getting getting a copyright content strike for my neighbor's music. That would be fun. I'm just gonna use flatten here because I think like the extra crease kind of works here, but like only there. Oh god, I'm gonna smooth this out a little bit. I think it's a little bit too sharp here, so I'm gonna use this brush to kind of bring in a little bit of thickness on this side. It kind of helps to sell the fact that it's hair, you know. There we go. Use a pinch brush. There. It's kind of good. Yeah, let's, for a moment, consider the following. I kind of want to make this. Come on. I hate the fact that the grab brush doesn't work with some sort of yeah, you know, connected what's it called? Okay, yeah. So I want to create something. Okay, this custom brush is kind of great in doing what it does. I'm just gonna remesh it again because I feel like if I don't at this point, then there's all the detail again, and whoops. Okay, there we go. Oops, what's going on? Oh, there we go. I'm gonna first smooth this out a little bit and bring this crease in. This can be a little bit more like creasing smoother, creating these bulky shapes, like unlike the face, because we're working with hair. And like grabbing the grab brush and poking some of these out. What was that noise? Of course, we still want this to be kind of visible here, you know. it's like the camera's gonna be kind of here, right? So it doesn't really matter what I do right here. Use a pinch brush, bring this a little bit closer together to really make this tuck under the head. Maybe not that extreme, because you can still adjust the head a little bit, but maybe even bring this a little bit more to the front. And then bring out this a little bit more. I think like here's kind of a little bit too. I'm just gonna use a rake brush to get a little bit of a nicer shape in here. Also like here. Yeah, that's nicer. That kind of, yeah, that's definitely better. Okay, and kind of use rake brush here. Big strokes. Big strokes. Heavy strokes. To have that stylized hair look. And kind of go like, whoops. And follow. What am I doing? Why am I using the rake? There we go. Put the strength a little bit up. And put that fall of the sharp hair. So that looks good. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, now I kind of want to focus on the front hair thingy again, because that's also going to define a lot of the shape here. So I'm just going to grab the grab brush. I'm gonna like make this hair for one a little bit flatter, just to go here in a curl again and kind of fall down over here. That's also something that doesn't really make a lot of sense in the concept art over here. So I'm gonna do a little bit something else. I'm just gonna have it fall over the shoulder a bit more. And of course, like this shape does make a lot of sense at the moment. I'm gonna use the blob tool to kind of create, make this hair flatter, right? We kind of still wanna be able to see her face here. I can use a rake brush here to make this a little bit smoother. Bring this back forward. It's gonna be a little bit of a cat and mouse game. Going back and forward. Bring this out. Gonna make a little bit sense that this kind of goes a little bit like this. What time is it? Oh, we have enough time. We have an hour left. Let's see here if I got messages. My girlfriend and my best friend are conspiring against me, so they need to be eliminated. Community, do what you do. No, just kidding. Okay, now because I want this to stick out more here. Like, yeah. So what I kind of want to create here is that like there's some hair like actually coming here, falling down, right? I'm just gonna remesh this really quickly, inflate this, smooth it out, so that this hair goes behind the shoulder, and this is a little bit stupid to do efficiently. Like after it took another turn like this, and this hair and also has a curve in it because it's still curly hair. Let's see here, because the frequency has to be kind of correct. Kind of like this, somewhat. That's nice. Simple hair, you know. Okay, kind of looks like she doesn't have. Okay, a skull. Okay, use the flatten brush, go over here, and then we want to use the rake brush for a little bit more of an extreme sense. What we're trying to do here. Bring this back. Use the inflate brush to Got the shape in here. Just gonna remesh. This kind of becomes one shape. So fine by me. Oops. Just ring down. Don't want some sharper. I'm just going to go to sharp. There we go. Bring this out. There's different ways of achieving this. But I do want to keep with the simple shapes and the simple like geometry. Like simple curves, simple like things that move logically, right? This can be a little bit lower, and another curve. So we got these repetition of shape here. There we go. Maybe even make the hair here a little bit thinner. Remesh. And I'm gonna remesh with a lot more detail. So 0.0054. I'm gonna go with 4. I'm gonna real quickly check in object mode. Yeah, the scale is uniform. Let's go back to sculpt modes. Remesh, that's fine. Remesh me. Oh. Something else we gotta add is kind of like a little loose hairs here and there. This is a small detail. To really kind of sell like the fact that she has a little bit of messy hair, but now we kind of see all the details we're kind of missing. I'm just gonna smooth this out real quick. I'm gonna already gonna try to force. Ooh, did that just? Yeah, my worst enemy. Intersections. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is just flatten this out, smooth this out. Kind of see it. This is still to front faces only, right? Flatten this out. Oh god, no. Okay, go to inflate. And inflate this a little bit. Inflate this a little bit. Just remesh it. How dare you? Sorry, that was my grid impression. Oh man, I don't get why the world is getting so angry all of a sudden. Not all of a sudden, it's been happening for a couple of years, but man. Now people are getting angry at Robert Downey Jr. for Tropic Thunder again. And I'm like, Jesus. Like there is a version of the world where we can like poke fun at stuff and at the same time treat it with respect and have like respect for each other. And but yeah, I saw the whole Joe Rogan thing. Well, not the whole talk, but like so Robert Downey Jr. had a talk on Joe Rogan, which I start to like the Joe Rogan show. But like these long talks are not really my thing. Cause it's just like I always want to kind of follow along the entire talk and not have it like played in the background or something. Because he has like a lot of interesting people on and kind of. But I saw some highlights of them talking about Tropic Thunder and him portraying a black character, which is not actually true. He portrays a white character who portrays a black character. And then the whole internet, because they brought it up again, and Robert Downey was kind of like, you could make it again today. Like, it's not something like, I don't think he said it that out loud, but if you know what I mean. But it's a little bit like, I don't know. I don't want to say that the world becomes too politically correct and all that stuff, because I don't even think there's something like political correctness. As an idea, sure, but I don't think that it's a way of living, to be honest. I think we always like had things that were not really like a minority, I guess. Minorities have always existed, either if they were biological or by choice. Like I mean, like yeah, minorities is the wrong word here. Let's say there's always groups of peoples, communities, or just like defined by biological traits or personality traits or psychological traits. There's always groups of people, and I think we should respect all of everybody. But at the same time, like, let's not take life too seriously. As long like people don't get hurt. At the moment, people get hurt, then take it seriously. But and I mean like physically or emotionally, psychologically, like hurt. Like, not if somebody gets there. If somebody has a campaign on Twitter to cancel somebody because they got offended, I don't feel like they really got offended. Just by like people who really got like hurt psychologically or emotionally by certain traumas or things that happened to them. I think like their behavior kind of shows how. I mean, I don't want to diminish. Like, just have respect for each other and just like, you know, live and let live. I don't think like if it doesn't if it doesn't influence you directly, or I mean, there's always the discussion of like, yeah, but you know, culture kind of defines how we think about stuff, and children are raised in our culture, and like, what do you do about that? Like, kind of have to protect them, and I kind of agree. And I think it's, you know what the thing is, politics and like social politics are such a complicated science, right? It's you have to take so much into account, like psychology and history and like communities, and that just leave it to the professionals. Like, just leave it to. And I get it, right? For some things you can't really make a professional, like have a professional in. I mean, it exists, right? You have people who. For instance, like people who focus on Black history, for instance, or people who focus on immigration and focus on the political situation or economical. You have psychologists that their entire job is to kind of make things easier for immigrants and stuff like that exists. Like, leave it to those people and to kind of bring forward issues that we should like all take in consideration, and then we'll go from there. But like, and I think like Jamie Foxx pulled this, like, actors are easy targets, like public figures, not only actors, like public figures are easy targets. I think it's easier to like tweet to Robert Downey Jr. just because he wouldn't really like see it or respond to it. But then you can kind of pretend that you're above him and kind of send your own image of yourself, I guess. So like also cancel culture. It's like, it's just drama. We like, since television existed, we love drama on television. It kind of moved to the internet. But it's like, I don't think we really care if the drama is fiction or non-fiction. Because the thing you kind of see happening, I'm using the wrong brush. I should kind of stick this out more with. Yeah, there we go. It looks nice. Kind of drag this a little bit more over here. Excuse me. Just have some detail here to look at. And you're not gonna really see it, but might just well be there. The reason I'm touching on this is because, like, I think I'm kind of afraid that, you know, this it already bleeds to like the animation industry and to the gaming industry a little bit too much. Whereas, I mean, there was a lot of drama with like the Me Too movement and such, and that was totally justified. I think like everybody who got like proof against them that they kind of had predatory like, you know, things I hear, like, and I cannot relate, right? But I can. You hear stories like, oh, we had this chef, like this authority figure, and he would like go to the girls in the company and give them a massage, like, and you would see that some of them were uncomfortable with it, and it's like not really something you do, right? And it's like, yeah, because the motive for most of these people doing it is like to get some, let's just say what it is, like some kind of sexual like affirmation, or like these are, in my opinion, mostly men that they kind of seek some sort of attention, and they get it by like, oh, I'm just having a fun, having a laugh, and like, I've personally not like seen a lot of that happen to a degree where it was not okay. Like, I think there's also like women that are not super bothered by that behavior, or women who stand a little bit more to their ground, but it should be called out, right? Of course, but and I'm just saying, like, yeah, douchebags that kind of use their power, or like just people who, because I've like definitely been called out on that as well. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like I never like inappropriately touched somebody at work or something, but like because you know, the studios I worked at, like especially the last studio I worked at, I had a lot of friends, right? And in the studio, and we are comfortable with each other, right? So like if I give like somebody a hug or something, or like punch them, like it's because they're my friend, not my colleague. Like I have a very distinct like the distinction between colleague and friend is really important. But then somebody called me out on it and was like, yeah, like, are you sure she's okay with that behavior that you're doing? Like, a little bit calling out, like, hey, are you not like invading their? And I mean, I'm sure that with my friends, like, I try to make sure that, like, if I do something, because nowadays, like, I wouldn't even do that, like, in a friendly. I'm just talking like, you know, I hit like hitting somebody. No, but you know what I mean. Like, if you're with friends, then you know physical contact is a little bit more. Like, you kind of have to. What I try to do now these days is really talk to my friends, like once they become better friends, and be like, hey, if there's ever something I do that makes you uncomfortable, like just tell me. And I also try not to like overstep boundaries, because I know there's a lot of like a lot of people also who are like who like to poke boundaries, right? And that's also mostly like innocent stuff, and in most cases. But yeah, but then somebody called me out and was like, hey, yeah, and then like I said, like I would never do this with a colleague, but she's my friend, and then it kind of got cleared up. I was like, oh, okay, and she's fine with that. I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, it sounds like, because I'm not defining what I did, this kind of sounds like I kind of groped them like something, but like for instance, I had a friend once, like a colleague. It was a male colleague, like, and we were like constantly like slap each other's bum, right, at work. And normally, and it's like, yeah, whatever. It was something we did, like, and none of us had a problem with it. And but yeah, it definitely started out like, I don't remember who started it, but it would be easy for me to say, yeah, they started it. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't know who started it. But yeah, it just became like something we did. And then like one of the girls who kind of came in our group also started doing it. She started like slapping our butts, and then in return, yeah, we started slapping her butt. And it was like, whatever, you're friends. These were friends. These were not just colleagues, right? But you don't do that with anybody else. And if somebody else feels uncomfortable by seeing it, they should talk about it. Like, and we should have kind of like not done that at work, I guess. Just looking back at it, but it kind of, but then, you know, there's people, and I guess the danger of that is that there's people who see that behavior and think, oh, that's what you do with colleagues, and especially like young people and like, or you know, and like they will also start doing it, and then, you know, they slap my butt, and then it's like, I'm not too bothered by it. Like, I'm not too fuzzy about physical contact and all that. But then it does kind of feel weird, because it's like, I'm gonna try to make a little bit more hair in here, because it kind of feels a little bit too flat. Yeah, that's good. So it's like, yeah, and then he thought that like he had also permission to slap her butt, and that was a big no-no. So then we kind of decided to not do that at work anymore, and like we're like, yeah, let's leave the butt slapping for our private time. I don't really like how the hair is coming up here, so I'm just trying to make some extra strands in here. That's stranding, yeah. And that's starting to look nice. I'm getting better at hair. I'm really happy with it. Because I see more and more what I'm trying to do, and then kind of figure out better ways to do it. Like this strand, I can just pull here, and I can use the flatten brush to kind of flatten this edge out a little bit, and then, you know, we still have this stylized look, but it's a little bit less simple. I mean, we're definitely gonna do this for the front hairs a bit more than and it twirls around a little bit. It makes it nice. But yeah, always check your boundaries, man, and like don't assume something. Like there was a time like, hi dude, it's good to be back. What's her name? Wendy. It's Wendy from Gravity Falls. Like for instance, man, I got like I knew a girl once, like I dated. Like, it's good that Julie isn't here, but it's, you know, and I asked her, hey, can I kiss you? Like, ask for consent, even like for kissing, and it's like, and she told me, oh, it's kind of like sweet that you asked, but she was also a bit like disappointed, because she was like, yeah, because now I know that you're gonna kiss me, and then we kind of had a laugh about it. It was not like a serious situation, but she was like, yeah, kind of heat of the moment, and now I asked permission, and but I said, yeah, but would you prefer like me not asking permission and kissing you without you wanting to, and then it would make things a lot more awkward? She was like, yeah. Like, not making me, of course, the better feminist, but it's weird. There is a gray area. I think it's definitely a gray area. But you should never touch or say even, or like do something at work, especially at work. Like at work, you should keep everything professional, and it's something I had to learn too. Like, just there is something about physical language, and because like if you learn from managers, because like I had my share of like working with manager figures who read books about like managing. You know the books, right? And it's like you see that they use physical. They will physically touch you. That sounds dirty. To gain trust, actually. Like, it's a trust thing. So you would like touch somebody's shoulder, or like give them a pat on the back, and it's like, I think for me that's already the gray area, because nowadays like I know there's women out there, like if they would get a like if their arm, if their shoulder would be grabbed, like this is something I get a lot, like, hey, or another thing where you get a handshake and they will grab your wrist or the palm of your hand. That's like not even not only for women. I don't want to like say that. Like also men. I actually also know like people who would have like issue with that. Like, I had a friend like who she worked at the same studio, and when a colleague left after I already left there, they came over to her and gave her a hug, but she didn't really know them, and like she said, it was super awkward. She didn't feel like assaulted or anything, but it was like, yeah, I don't know why I got a hug. Like, but I just said like, yeah, but just so say friendly decline and say like give a handshake, and it was then. But yeah, it was a bit too late, of course, with that advice. But I'm just gonna run this a little bit more down here. I don't know if I have enough detail actually to But yeah, there's a lesson in be a nice guy. It's not that hard. Or just a nice woman as well, because I hate it. Like, I hate discussions where you're like, hey, it's bad to touch women at work, and then suddenly somebody says like, yeah, but men get touched too, and I was like, that's not a counter argument. It's like, yeah, of course don't touch men too, but it happens a lot more to women. I mean, yeah, but men have it too. I don't care. Like, I mean, so, but yeah, I know like there's a lot of men with issues. I think it's like a combination of like there's definitely behavior that's for not okay for nobody. But we just saw like an episode of Sex Education. I don't really follow it, but somebody, you know, did the sexy pee-pee thing on somebody's pants, like the baby maker juice. I don't want to like get too graphic on this, but she got it on her pants, and she was not bothered by it. But I mean, at the end, like she kind of realized what happened, and then she kind of like realized like, oh, that's not okay and stuff, and then she kind of had a mental breakdown. I don't want to spoil the show as well. I'm going to say who it was. I don't really follow it. Like my girlfriend watches it. I just watch it passively along. But that's what I mean. And then her friends said like, no, that's not okay what he did. But it definitely like also depends on how you were raised, with what you were raised, and it's easy to say that we should kind of follow rules on the lowest denominator on of being offended by stuff, because that thing was totally not okay. But then there's stuff like Robert Downey Jr. doing blackface, so full circle. We're supposed to start swinging at 2 p.m. I am late again. Yeah, sorry. I started earlier today because I have something to do in 40 minutes, which reminds me, I really have to finish this. Sorry for that. But can you rewatch? Hope you didn't make her moment awkward. Yeah, the touch discussions are super weird and unnecessary. Well, I don't think they're unnecessary. They're awkward. They can be awkward, but I think you kind of have to also in the company. Like, I do try to have that discussion, because once you start it, the awkwardness really fast goes away. Like, it's like also like I know the feeling when you're younger and you're kind of starting things out with a girl, you know, or a guy, you know, whatever floats your boat, or just anybody. Well, not anybody. There are rules. Don't break the law. But I know the feeling that's like you're not really sure what to do, but I feel like I gained a lot more by being way more communicative about everything, really. Especially as well with friends. Like, we've all been there, awkward situations with like where you don't feel so good about somebody doing a specific thing, and it's like, yeah, and then like people keep it silent or keep it to themselves. But we kind of have a written rule now in our, like in my closest friend group, that like we be honest to each other, and it's still not easy at times, but that we're honest with each other about each other's feelings, and that if we have like a certain concern, that we kind of bring it forward. And sometimes we kind of have to help each other to say that and do that, and then we're not without our drama, of course, but you know, and I just starting to be a little bit too heavy. I kind of want to have more detail in here, but I kind of feel it's unnecessary. But what I might do is actually bring this a little bit back, because that's like a little bit unnecessary. And then I can up the detail, but have like, say I'm not destroying anything here, am I? Just a little bit. Wait, let me just. Whoa, that's gonna hurt. Just gonna bring all this. I'm just gonna make it intersect with itself. Oh, what's going on here? Come on. What? Oh, that's cool. No, that wasn't necessary. There we go. Smooth this out, and then I'm gonna put this to 0.003. Remesh it. Oh yeah, we'll watch the entire video after seeing. That's nice. Yeah, our watch time has gone up on the channel, so that's nice. The channel is growing, and all you beautiful people are growing along with it. It's beautiful. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. Just still have some time left. Okay, so this is remeshed. And yeah, okay, so this is kind of awkward. Just gonna use should have done it earlier. Just use a scrape brush. I'm just gonna go into yeah, just bring this out a little bit more without destroying too much here. Use a scrape brush and then remesh it again. It's gonna save us some polys. But yeah, it's, you know, life isn't easy. I'm gonna do a whole talk here. Life isn't easy, but what makes it easier is communication. I find in most cases, like just talk to your friends, or like if you feel like unsure about anything. This is like I've been story time. I've been part of. I've lost, like, not, they didn't die, but I lost a lot of friends over the years. Mainly because I moved to another town, and there was some breaking up inside I had a very close friend group. Let's just put it like that. But then, kind of broke it off because of a fight, and then like people didn't agree. I think the biggest issue was that like some were not really sure what they wanted to do career-wise, and they kind of took it out on the other guys. I mean, it was a little bit, yeah. And then like I was certainly guilty of I kind of wanted to have things my way back in the day, and I came only aware of that like not too many years ago. But now I'm talking like 14 years ago, right? When I was like 15, 16, I was really young. Like if you're at that age, you're like, you get up in so much drama. It's not really worth it. Like after so many years. But yeah, I definitely wanted things more my way back in the day, which was not a good property to have. I think that's kind of like prohibiting yourself creatively, and as well like in life. Just just gonna use the pinch brush here because I feel like I can just put in these nicer shapes if I just pinch it. I don't want to overdo it, of course, but yeah, because like here at this point it's still a little bit too blobby in my taste, so I'm just gonna very carefully, or maybe not carefully, let's just use a scrape brush. So that was kind of like my issue. I mean, we were young, we all have issues. I kind of lost shape in here, didn't I? Let's kind of go like this. I wanted to have the silhouette like the bigger parts to make a little bit more sense. I mean, we're all idiots when we're at that age. There's a few exceptions, but I think one thing you only learn, or like at least I've seen with a lot of people, like, and a lot of people agree with me on that, is like you only learn to be a good friend like pretty, like in your mid-20s. I feel like some of it earlier, some a little bit later, because I think up until that point you kind of have your friends, you can take them a little bit for granted, and nobody will fault you for that, because you know you're in school. Most of your friends are in school or in hobbies you have, and it's like you're not really dependent on them for anything, or you don't really have to put a lot of energy to see them all day, right? And I think like if you get older, suddenly you notice like if you don't spend energy and time in your friends, then you kind of lose them pretty quickly. and I think the combination of that, like me not having really an awareness of seeing things from another people's perspective, and then at the same time, yeah, this starts to look really nice, by the way. At the same time, kind of wanting. I also expected too much from life at that point. Like, I thought I could make a movie by the time I was 24, and was like, right. There's people who are lucky enough or work hard enough to get there at that age, but yeah, I'm definitely more a laid-back guy, and I don't need a deadline on my accomplishments. Like, if I make a movie at my 35 or 45, I'll be happy. I would have made a movie. But yeah, it's kind of like yeah, I lost a lot of friends then back in the day. Also because I moved town. I moved to Ghent afterwards, and that didn't really help to patch things together. It's combined a pretty nasty breakup. cry drama, but nah, I'm over it. It's okay. But yeah, it was definitely like I kind of had this, like, a lot of changed in my life on a very short period. Like, so I told you I was freelance. I think at some point I've probably told you. So I was freelance, but then I got this call from this big studio that wanted me, and I was like, hell yeah. Like, and I had a pretty big breakup with my and like changed like environments. Like I then moved to the city where the company was, because I didn't want to spend 2 hours a day. Like, I would do this for every job, like just move into the town where I had the job. Like, now I kind of have to look at my girlfriend as well, like, where does she work, and can we live somewhere in between, or do we want to, like, we really love the town where we live in now, so we kind of want to stay here. So we're looking for maybe employment in this town. I mean, you would rather pick something here than something 2 towns away. Like, Belgium is not that big. You don't have a lot of great places to live. A lot of great places to visit, but to live, it's really like it's about 3 places I would, other than Ghent, to kind of want to live. Kind of had a little bit of a saliva explosion in my mouth there. Sorry for that. Sorry that you had to witness that. Okay, gonna use the flatten brush. Okay, I want to smooth it out. Kind of like. Okay, because I don't want to spend too much time on this anymore, but I want the hair to be pretty good, especially around this edge. Oh, come on. There we go. I think I still struggle with this a little bit. With the sculpting, I mean, not with my past life. But it's like, in a month time, I got a new job, pretty big job as well. I had a breakup, like, from a relationship of 4 years, and I had I moved for the first time away from my parents. This all happened in one time, and it was like crazy. And I lived by myself for the first time, and I think we just had over 2 months in total. And then yeah, I lost touch with like a lot of friends from my hometown. But also because, yeah, you know, we kind of had the shared friend group, and then also a lot of people just dropped from my life because of reasons. And yeah, that took a while to get used to, because I don't know, that wasn't easy to kind of process at the beginning, to all that change. But I think like it was for the best that everything changed at the same time, because I think like if I'd done it step by step, then I would have probably like hesitated more to do certain stuff, because then I changed my entire lifestyle after that. Became more acceptant to certain things in life, and kind of, you know, All the good stuff, you know. Just be a little bit more extreme on this one. And I'll just ease things. There we go. Sure. Let's go with that. But yeah. But I mean, because like also changing a lot kind of I think spared me a lot of like being depressed and mopey. If I didn't have the job at that time, that new job to get me excited and kind of force me to be in a good position, because you don't want to start a new job, especially a job you kind of wanted really to have, and then be all mopey at work because then they just throw you out. So yeah, I kind of had to force myself to be in a better position there. I think this is well enough. I'm just gonna do the hat because I don't have much time left, and maybe this one I'll polish a little bit tonight. Because I definitely want this one to be a good one, right? But I'm just gonna put an X mirror. I'm gonna remesh this a little bit more detailed. 0.1 remesh. But yeah. But then, yeah. So the point I wanted to make is that I certainly had to like learn to be a good friend suddenly, because I met amazing people, and I count myself lucky to still be friends with them to this day. Okay, so it's merged anyway. I don't think it's too big of an issue. Like I have amazing friends. They're but we had the like, because what I'm talking about is like we kind of had the privilege of being colleagues back in the day. So they also worked at the studio I started working at, and I mean one of those friends is still a college friend of mine who also lives in the same town, and they became friends with each other, and yeah, it's one big happy party now, and it's super fun. But yeah, I definitely had to learn to, and still do, like this is like still a daily thing that I kind of have to come to terms with. Like your friends don't come for free, and if like you do stuff for them if they need you, but also if they don't need you, like just we celebrate Christmas every year together. It's like such a fun thing to do, though. Like I organized a Dungeons and Dragons Christmas session for about 11 people, because that's how much we are now. Mainly because everybody got almost everybody got partners now. But yeah, that's that was pretty fun. I'm gonna use a rake brush here because I kind of want to flatten it a little bit out. Oops, not too much here though. Still wants to be a little bit poofy. And I'm gonna give this a sharper edge a little bit to give the impression this is a little bit thinner. It's gonna be hard to actually make this thinner. We're gonna really get the shape correct here, right? So this is more of a rectangular shape. Also, like, not make this into a Russian hat. And also kind of based a little bit in realism, right? So kind of foresee some place for the hair to stick out, and then we can just get the blob brush and really define where the hat, and I always have trouble saying hat, where the hat kind of stops, right? There's something weird happening here. Okay, there we go. Flatten this out. Oh, okay. So we kind of want to have this a little bit more consistent. There we go. A little bit thicker, a little bit rounder. use a flatten brush, go over this, and go over this. It's a little bit softer. That shape is pretty well, nice. It's not too hard. I can do this for the edges as well. Like, really scrape this off. Get this a little bit rounder. And just get a little bit this shape in here, right? Fatten this up, use the rake brush, and just give me this down here. Alright, same with this, gonna use a rake brush. Gonna pull this a little bit more over the hair here. And then again, kind of push this in so it really feels like there's some thickness to the head. It's made out of like leather and fur, so it kind of has to make sense. There we go. At the same time, avoid these sharp edges. So yeah, be a good friend. Like you only get like so many chances, and don't try like, oh, man, something I had to learn as well is not to try to be friends with people you don't like have a lot of common with, or like being casual friends of course is something else, but I definitely had to learn not to try to have everybody like me and not to be part of every group, and I stopped caring. I started loving the bomb. No. There's definitely like some live and let live mentality needed if you want to get through life without getting too much social anxiety, I guess. Because I mean, some people do have anxiety issues, but I think also there's like people giving themselves anxiety because they feel like something's happening they don't want to in their social life, and it's like in most cases, like I don't know. It's 50-50. I think like sometimes it feels like if there's a feeling like, what am I doing? My brushes are all fucked up because I didn't apply the scale here. Okay, I only noticed this now. Okay, there we go. So I think this might be why this kind of looks a bit weird. I'm just gonna use the flatten brush. It's gonna be a bit easier. Can I smooth this out a little bit? A little bit poofier. Okay. So now, I'm just gonna remesh this with a lot more detail, but not too much. I kind of want to do a couple of things. Sorry, that was a weird sound. Yeah, but like people who you like really have good friendships with they don't come like in party packs. Let's say they don't come in a lot of. They only come like once every so often, and like to appreciate that is really I think important to like first step to be a good friend. And also like, man, there was this guy and I guess if he ever watches this he'll know I'm talking about him, but if he doesn't, then I guess I kind of proved my point. But there's no point in telling people how good of a friend you are. I had this guy who like had the insane and he wasn't lying, right? But he had this insane tendency to always affirm what a good friend he is. Like he would say, yeah, you know, if you call me in the middle of the night, I'll come by and I'll help you. And I was like, yeah, I believe you, but you don't always have to like say it, like affirm it, like, because it doesn't like it's not necessary. Just if it happens, then do that. But I'm not gonna value somebody's friendship on like if they help me in a disaster, right? It's just like just be who you are. I think like the most fun I have with like friends is just hanging out, you know. and just making an effort, not in disasters, but making an effort like just in casual. Because like, you know, if I break my leg in my house, I could call like 100 people who would come and help me, because there's something you do. There's just human decency. Like, yeah, I'm a true friend because I brought you to the hospital. It's like, no, if you were a complete stranger, you would probably bring somebody to the hospital. No, it's about the times when you like are feeling down or just need somebody to talk to that you're like, then it's important that you like be a good friend, in my opinion. Like, oh, let's turn off asymmetry. Just gonna push the hair a little bit more like inside the head here. There we go. Without losing this curve, of course. It's a little bit blobby, but at this point, stopped caring. And yeah, it's like, be a good friend always. Like, make an effort, like just a selfless, without expecting anything back. Because there's also, and you know the people I'm talking about. You know, the guilt trippers. Like, especially like, I see this a lot with a lot of guys who want to kind of be with a girl, but instead of like just flat out telling their feelings and be like, hey, do you want to go on a date? They'll just be their best friend. And, you know, I'm always there for you. And then at a certain point, they'll be like, because, I mean, Julie has her share of stories like that, right? So she, and also like some female friends I talk to in my local bar. It's like, yeah, and at a certain point, they'll, out of nowhere, it'll just be like, I like you, and you have to like me back. Here's my, or I hate that, like, declaration of love. Why is this not working like it's supposed to work? Hello? Why are you having a weird indent? I just have to, okay. Oh man, okay. Wait, there's a feature for this actually. It's called normal weight. Yes. Okay, that will do more of what I want to. Because I learned about that. Because if you do the normal weight 100%, it will just extrude from the normal, but you can just lower it a little bit, and then you can kind of stick it down a little bit more. So what I want to do is kind of have these little, I guess I kind of have to bring them up a little bit. Bring them. No, okay, that didn't work. They really have to be sticking up, so I'm just gonna try it again. Yeah, that's better, I guess. And kind of bring in some detail here, just a little bit, to kind of give away the texture of what's happening here, right? And we can kind of overdo this a little bit. And then kind of smooth it out a little bit because it's a little bit too extreme. Kind of has to infer fur. Yeah, so I'm not going to do this everywhere. I'm just going to do the edges a little bit. And here a little bit, you know. Just to sell the image a little bit. A little bit stylized. The rest is for the texturing team. Sorry. Nah, it's fine. Okay, and this a little bit smaller, this detail. Yeah, there we go. Just like this. On the front here. I think like maybe it can help if I do some of them, like just those spheres. Not too small. I want to keep a consistent style here. It's also in the back here. And the rest we can maybe do with a texture brush. Where are they? What if we use this one but invert it? Oh, that could actually work. Okay, I'm just gonna put the strength way lower. Oh yeah, it actually kind of works. Okay, cool. Of course, I'm gonna refine the edges a little bit. so it's clear where it starts and where it ends, so it's not just like a random texture. Can I do the opposite here just for the letter? No. And maybe what I want to do is very lightly go, very lightly. No, that's not gonna work. I want to use the inflate brush to make it a little bit poofier maybe, but well, that's fine like this. Okay, I kind of want to finish the shoulders here because, ooh, we only have 10 minutes left. Deadlines. And kind of bring in some of the basic muscles here. I'm gonna use my so like, I don't want her to appear naked, of course, so I'm gonna also bring in a lot of clothes. I have these very basic, because it's a little bit stylized, so it's not too obvious, but I kind of want to have a hint of the bone structure in here, right? And then this going to the back here, indenting a little bit, smoothing it out. Okay. And then we're just gonna go and scrape off the shoulders. Maybe a little bit from here more. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Very cool. Man, okay, 10 minutes left. Whoops. Should check the time a little bit more. So the thing bothering me still is a little bit contour this with symmetry. Thickness of the lips a little bit. They're a little bit too flat in my opinion. But have that seam a little bit stronger here. A little bit stronger here. Will really make this look like a laugh. A little bit less here. Have all of this move a little bit up. You know. Use a pinch brush. Really get our detail in here. Smooth out a little bit here. And of course, use a flatten brush to kind of get rid of this detail. But we do want to keep the eyebrow. Move it in here. Maybe a little less here. Kind of smooth it a little bit more into the shape here, and we can kind of bring the expression a little bit back. Okay. I want this line in here. Whoops. But better. Can I have a line in here? No, not that one. Okay, sure. And then use a flatten brush to really make this a little bit cleaner. Have the correct shapes in here. It looks a little bit weird from this side, just a little bit, so I'm fine with a little bit. Okay. Oh, and then really quickly. Oh, I don't even know how I'm gonna do this. 9 minutes. Speed modeling. Like this. Gonna be a little bit like this, delete the vertices, bring this down, bring this down, scale this up, Shift N, Shift N, yeah, okay. Gonna use a simple solidify modifier. You're like, what are you doing? I'm gonna add a couple more. Okay, I'm going to select this, go to sculpt mode, grab brush. I'm gonna put this in the right position. This will be her shirt. No worries, we're gonna do this a little bit more refined in a second. I'm doing it this way because then I know that I have the at least cleanup work. Come on. Use the snake hook because then it follows my command better. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, and what we're gonna do now is add a multi-resolution and subdivide. There we go. And we don't need to see this. It's fine. Kind of bring this in the correct shape. Now smooth this. Ooh, don't want to smooth this out. I kind of want to inflate it actually. No, that's opposite of inflate. Cool. Subdivide. Bring this down. It's too hard of a shape to really. Go to edit mode. Bring it down. There we go. Lay it back up a bit. Here as well. Smooth it out. Lay it. Just to infer. I mean, I might delete this. I might just as well delete this. Who cares about clothing? Alright, don't go to object mode, preview, shade smooth. That looks fine. Just gonna apply it for a very good reason. No, don't apply these solidify just yet. Go back, up top. There we go. Now we can really easily. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but there we go. Let's do sharp shapes again. There we go. Go into scope mode and smooth this out a little bit. Go into this piece of hair, sculpt. Bring this piece up a little bit. And then of course on the other side we kind of want to delete this. Go away. I know where you are. Okay. And even like make this a little bit more consistent with the shape. Cool. Last but not least. Oh boy. Okay, I need to add something to the face. I'm really quickly gonna add with the blob brush. I'm gonna put the fall off on a sphere, and I'm gonna go. Am I not on the face? I'm not on the face. Scope mode. Oh. Oh, okay. Maybe I do want to fall off on smooth. And then I kind of want to draw the eyebrows really quickly. Kind of sticking out a little bit too much. There we go. Let's go back a little bit. That was fine. Just have them squish at the end a little bit. Who cares about the other side? Just have like a hint, maybe we can see something going on there. Cool. And then we can see that she has them eyelashes. Whoa, that was elastic deform. That might actually do it. Not bad. There we go. flatten that out, make it smoother. And pinch the end a little bit together. Just a little bit. It needs to be round. Mm, 2 minutes. That's awesome. I forgot the eyes. Totally forgot about the eyes. I'm gonna link these up. Object data. Yeah, don't have to follow the rotation. Sculpt mode. Go to radial Z. Remesh to 0.2. Smooth normals. Remesh. Smooth it out. And then kind of bring in these very big eyeballs. And deeper. This kind of use a flatten tool here. And then use a scrape brush to further deepen it a little bit. X mirror, no radial. Paint away this. I can see what's going on here. There we go. Sorry that I'm rushing a little bit, but I really need to go. No. Radial Z8. Gonna push this together. Really following the curve a little bit. I'm gonna push this a little bit together. Even pushing in a little bit. I don't know if that if it kind of makes sense to add detail here. Nah, I don't really define that. That's uh-oh. What's going on? Oh. Never mind. Sometimes he does that. It's really helpful when I have just about to leave. But just, I think maybe this edge has to be a bit sharper. Okay, cool. Very cool. I think maybe dilate the pupils a little bit more. I'm just going to do that by indenting a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. That's the hot spot we want. There we go. Go in here, sculpt mode. Turn off the radial, turn on X mirror. Okay, and push this in. We don't have that sticky detail. Okay, we're gonna have to skip lighting. Really sorry, but I really need to leave. Maybe we'll do a surprise stream tonight. Who knows? Apparent is. Oh, come on. Looked funny though. Yeah, because I need to leave. I'm just gonna parent keep transform. I'm gonna finish it up a little bit tonight, but just so you get an idea how this looks lit. In a very spooky environment. Looks like this. There we go. All right, I'm gonna relight this. I'm gonna put up a little bit of finesse on this once I get home again. But I have to end the stream here. Really sorry. Thought this wasn't going to take so long, but there you go. I really hope that you enjoyed the stream. I'm going to do the thing. I want to thank all my Patreons. I especially want to do a shout out to Sir Knight Taylor Brown for supporting me on Patreon. Really thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to, and hit that bell button so you get notified whenever I'm online. Sorry that was a bit earlier today. I hope you enjoyed it though, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye. Love you.